Is it pushing you out of your comfort zone?
What, this interview?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I have no idea who the Ayoub sisters are.
Okay. And we're working with Tony.
Ciao.
Oh, there he is.
Daniele.
We are really lucky to be working with such a fabulous and talented team. We have been working with 2 producers. We've got Tony McHugh, who we've been working with since 2019, who helped us with our singles that we've been releasing, and we were very lucky to join forces once again with John Haywood, who produced our first album back in 2017.
I met the Ayoub sisters on a mutual friend's boat for a board game night. Well, our friend Ali had said, I think the Ayoub sisters are actually potentially looking for a new producer. Kind of like wink wink nudge nudge situation. So when I first met them I was like, yeah, so how's the music going? What are you guys up to? Do you need any recording? And kind of just sort of emerged from there. This type of music to me is pretty crazy. Like harmonically it's pretty crazy. It's very different from the usual sort of bread and butter of like drums, bass, guitars, keys. And like I've done a lot of jazz music, but this is different in the ways that it's like microtonal, and so it's in that sense it's like totally new territory for me. And some of the percussive elements as well are pretty. I can't tell you how to spell any of the instruments on this album, frankly, or any of the song names, but it's good. It's just fresh for me, so it's class.
We were delighted to work with Mark Messenger on this album, as well as album 1. He conducted both albums, and for me specifically it's amazing to work with him because he was my violin teacher for a year at the Royal College of Music.
There's no real benefit in doing one take from the beginning into 8 if you want to just make sure we've got the beginning. Today was great actually. I mean, wonderful bunch of players, but actually working with the Ayoub's string writing, it's always such a pleasure. It's so well written, so well constructed, it's just a pleasure to play and easy to put together. So it was great material, wonderful people to work with. What could be better really? Music is about a sound world anyway, so whether you're talking about classical or jazz or Arabic, it's just a question of getting your head into the right sound world, and then everything flows from that really. But music's from different parts of the world, they're not so different from each other really.
I love it. I think it's fantastic. It's lovely to do different genres, and yeah, it's beautiful arrangement. It's really great.
We are really lucky to be working with Guy Shalom, who's recorded all the Eastern percussion on the album. He is literally the heartbeat of the album. He's in many of these tracks, and he's brought a certain sound, style and colour to every single track. Every track sounds super different from the next one, and we are very lucky to have had him on board.
A few years ago, a friend of mine, Egyptian Scottish friend, said, "Do you know the Ayoub sisters?" I was like, "No." So I checked them out, got in contact with them. For no real reason other than just making contact with fellow musicians, Egyptian background. And then through one thing and another, we ended up playing on the same bill at Cambridge, the festival there. We did a couple of pieces together. The Ayoub sisters joined our band, the Melody Blues Ensemble, for one piece. I think I played on one piece on their set, and we thought, there's common ground here. Kept in touch, saw each other here and there, but actually this is the first time we've actually come together and worked on a project, you know, in a sort of concentrated way. So here we are.
Maybe the first tutti, so the first time the violins come in, is when we should maybe get that one, the bottom one. So today we have the fun job of not playing and actually sitting and listening to all of our friends and colleagues play along to what we did yesterday. So we started off with Giulio Romano Malesi, an amazing musician and guitarist from Italy, incredible jazz musician who we've been playing with as a quartet for
5 years.
yeah, really, really long. We've actually played on some of his recordings, some of his albums, but this is the first time he plays on one of ours, so that's really exciting.
And then we've got Daniele Antonucci, another Italian jazz musician playing kit. We met both of them by chance in London. Very long story, but we've been best buds ever since, and we're delighted to finally be recording music that we've been playing as a quartet for years but have never actually kind of notated properly, and now we've fleshed out these arrangements and putting it on a disc finally.
I met Sarah and Laura at the Le Queckenbar venue in Battersea a few years ago. I think it was about 5-6 years ago. We were doing a gig with my band Gypsy Dynamite, and they were there and they enjoyed the gig, and they asked me after if we could jam one day. So we started jamming together, we got to know each other, and that's how, you know, the whole collaboration started off.
Well, it's very challenging for me, being a percussionist, you know, playing. I love Latin music, of course, which is quite similar to Arabic, but there are lots of odd signatures, and plus, you know, sisters are very classical musicians, so it's totally a different approach for me, percussion player. I never played with an orchestra before, so you know, it's an honor for me being part of this project. Yeah, thank you, sisters. Thanks very much. Thanks for having me.
We've also got two musicians whom we've never met before. We've got Duncan Hemstock playing clarinet and James Davison on trumpet, both fabulous jazz players who we've known from a friend of a friend of a friend, who've come highly recommended, and we'll be meeting them and hearing them for the very first time this afternoon. They will be playing on Aatiny Ghani.
They brought such a vibe to the track, more than we could have ever hoped for. Yeah.